Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today really is a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. And you know what? If you're listening to this at the end of your day and you're about to head to bed, there's a part of me that's almost envious of you because you get to go to sleep making the decision in your mind that you're going to make tomorrow a beautiful day. Not that you're just going to have one, but that you're going to make it one. I think that is so incredible. That's almost what I did last night. Honestly, that is what I did last night. Last night and yesterday, I recorded an episode that had a bit of tension in my voice. And I recorded it because I knew I had to, but I wasn't in the greatest of states. And I thank God and the universe for this podcast because just recording that episode reminded me of my state. It reminded me of how I was feeling and what my body was doing. And I decided immediately afterwards that I get to decide how I feel. Yes, I have challenges ahead of me, challenges that I wish I didn't have on one hand, but on the other, I'm so thankful for that I do. I know that I'm going to grow so much because of all the challenges and all the obstacles, and honestly, I like to call them hiccups, really, because challenges has like a negative connotation to me. It makes me tense up, it makes me feel like it's going to be hard, but hiccups just makes it feel like it's a bump in the road. But anyways, I know that with all these challenges and hiccups, I'm going to grow. These are my worthy opponents. And it's funny because, this hiccup came into my life and I was on a walk today and I was able to acknowledge that I know why, to a degree, this hiccup showed up. Or at least why I think it showed up. And it had to do with the fact that, as I said yesterday, I haven't been moving forward as fast as I've wanted to. When I was going to bed last night, I was saying, there is no way to change the past. And so that means I did exactly everything that I was supposed to do. I was meant to go at that speed, and I'm meant to have this obstacle now, this challenge now, this hiccup now. And maybe the reason for it is that someone else in my future is going to have this type of hiccup. And because I've been through it, I'll be able to support them even better. Teaching from experience is so much more valuable than teaching from hearing stories or seeing someone else do something. I'm in the process of collecting my own stories. So I had that revelation as I was going to bed, and I just realized that I got this hiccup because I wasn't moving fast enough. I wasn't going at the speed that I was supposed to, because it was something like 2-3 weeks ago, I got this incredible idea. It was for this mastermind group that I plan to create. Or not just groups, but also webinars or workshops, whatever I want to call them. And the premise being bringing together some young men who know that they're called for more but don't quite know how to get there, and putting them in a room together for them to create that synergy, to, create more creation in their life and to support one another. I felt called to do that weeks ago, and I am not much further than I was back then. I've spent the last 2-3 weeks making excuses, doing everything but. Don't get me wrong, my health is amazing right now. I feel fantastic, and I think I needed to focus on that as I'm starting this journey. And at the same time, I can have everything, but I can't have everything at once. And so, as I've been focusing on my health, I haven't been focusing on the business side of things. And that's why, on the business side of my life, a worthy opponent has appeared. And so, I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm going to have an amazing time doing it. Everything will work out as it's supposed to. Every hardship I have is a story to teach from. Taking a slight pivot here, I just had a funny thought to myself that I just rambled about all that, and as soon as I finished the sentence, I just stopped myself and I asked the question, why did I say all that? Like, what drew me to say all that? And it just reminded me of living from my heart, and that everything that I just said came from my heart. I wasn't thinking about what I was saying, I was just feeling what I was saying. And that's how I know I'm saying the right thing. I have absolutely no clue what I just said over the past 4, 5, 6 minutes. I just know that I'm saying what I'm meant to say, and that 5 people, 10 people, maybe 100 people one day will listen to this and will say, oh, yeah, I need that right now. Okay, Cool. Got it. All right. In my life. Cool. Got it. Let's go. Move. I can't wait to create more of those for other people. Maybe not just in my life, but people who stumble across what I do. Maybe they've found my website. Maybe they found my social media, or maybe this podcast just got sent to them and they were curious of, where did Philip start? Where did Philip start to talk about what he always talked about? And maybe they'll start at the beginning or go a little bit in. And, this is the 36th episode. It is currently February 5th. I record every day and I post every day. I don't really do episodes in advance. And maybe I will towards the end of the year, once I start traveling some more and I start losing days to travel. But for now, these episodes are live action, and someone may be wondering, what did Philip think in February? What did Philip think in June? What's my daily download from my birthday? Whatever it may be. And then they're going to hear exactly what they're meant to hear. You're going to hear exactly what you're meant to hear. If you're here right now, something drew you here. And trust me, it wasn't me. You may think it was partly me, but first of all, marketing doesn't exist for me right now. It does, but doesn't. There's something that drew you here. Maybe it was a title. Maybe it was a keyword. Maybe it was a preview. Maybe it was a newsletter. Whatever it was, something brought you here. And not because this is some sales funnel, but because there's something here that you were meant to hear. And maybe there's something that you're meant to hear later on. And this is just an episode for you to enjoy, to convince you to stick around. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you listened to this episode and said, actually, I'm not really feeling this Philip guy. And you decide to go find a different podcast. And in that one podcast, you listen to one episode. And in that one episode, you listen to exactly what you're meant to hear. That's just how I love the way the world works. The world works in mysterious ways, and I will never know. You will never know. But it's happening for you. So whether or not you enjoy this episode or enjoy this podcast or not, you're going to be led in the exact direction you're meant to be led in. Everything happens for a reason. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And you get to make the decisions that you want to make. Today truly is a beautiful day. Every single day I keep refining my daily routine. And I remember a couple weeks back feeling a little bit stressed about it, a little tense. And I was wondering, am I just going to keep changing this forever, or am I going to find something that actually works, that I actually like? And today I looked at my calendar and I found that it's a little bit of both. If I go backwards in my calendar, I'll find a day-to-day record of what my day was like. And as I go forward, I see a routine. But I also know that I learn in the moment of what works, and I keep adding things. Today I changed it up a little bit so that in the morning I do a slightly longer priming and meditation session. Instead of 15 minutes, I gave it 30 minutes. And then I moved some other things around. And little things like that just make me laugh because I'm constantly tweaking my own algorithm. I'm changing things up. I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm adding things and I'm deleting things. What works, what doesn't, what do I want to focus on, what do I want to change? Because an important lesson for all of us is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's the only thing that's truly equal between us all. We all have the same number of time, and do you know how short 24 hours can feel? Are you making the most of your time? Are you resting so that your body fully recovers? And when you're fully recovered, are you using the most of your time during that day? I found that I was in a pattern of not fully recovering, not fully resting. And because of that, I would start the next day groggy and low energy. And because of that, I wouldn't do the habits in the morning that I wanted to do, which wouldn't set me up for a good day, which meant that would push me later into the night to get things done, which meant less sleep, and repeat the cycle. And so I've started with this routine, with prioritizing the routine, saying that when I focus on myself and I make sure I'm at 100%, I will have more of myself to give to my mission, to the people around me, and to myself. I may have had my priorities unbalanced earlier, and this shock has brought me back to it. Back to say, okay, Philip, you're taking care of yourself, you're doing good. You're making sure that instead of eating one big meal a day, you're eating 3 smaller meals. Now you have the energy to do 6, 7, 8, 10 hours of quality work a day. And when that energy runs out and you're feeling a little bit less focused, You get to step away, go to bed, recharge, recover, and come back stronger than ever the next day. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. But don't get me wrong, I'm not in a place of certainty and safety. I'm in a place of high risk. And I'm doing this because I want the high reward that comes with the high risk. I tried the path of low risk, low reward. And let me tell you, it was very unfulfilling. I'm not ready to live like that for the rest of my life. I'm going to take these higher risks, the ones that scare me. I'm going to find the risks that aren't 50-50, but that they're asymmetric. That it may be a high risk 20%, but the reward is 80%. Get that 4-to-1, 5-to-1 ratio going. There's big things coming, and I'll definitely share them here, and I'll share them in a lot of different places. Because if there's one thing for sure, I know what my vision is, and I know I'm heading in that direction. And whether my vision changes or not, we'll see. But for the time being, I know where I am, I know where I want to go, I know why I want to get there. And now is the easy part of just doing the how. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, maybe rest of your night, and then an incredible day tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.